Okay, let's get this thing going again. Let's switch to live camera view. And do we have voice? The goal setting. We confirmed I have audio. Okay. Hey, so what's up? This is Dave again, and I am resuming my Groundhog Day Resolutions planning session. This is part 2. Spent the past 4 hours reviewing the past 11 years of Groundhog Day Resolutions and just copying what the goals were. So I'm going to look back and see what the pattern was. So let me just type into this chat room here. Recording, or rather, oops, also quit OBS by accident. Recording part 2 of Groundhog Day Resolutions goal setting. Where we last were left off, I was working on this list. Where is it? Where is it? Docs co-working? No, that's not right. That's Docs DS. I'm all frazzled. Took an hour break to eat dinner, do some cleanup stuff. And now I'm trying to get back to where I was before. It wasn't this document. It was... how to go back? Just Cafe Co-work. Oh, it's up here, I think. Yeah, okay. That, and then the Scrivener document. Alright, so this is what we're really looking for. So I wrote down the goals for each of the... starting from 2007 up to 2017, the past 11 years worth of Groundhog Day resolution setting. And so now I'm going to go back and try to rewrite these very tersely, just so I can see them in this view. So up here, let me do, I need to grab myself some plain things. Oops. Alright, so I want to make a distillation at the top here. So 1, commit to, I'll make this lowercase. Commit to deriving income from writing and making stuff. 2, build sustainable social networks. 3, sell product this year. So now if I go back to here, go to the scrivening view, I can see what the top 3 things were. Oops. Oops, what happened there? Okay, insert a break here. Insert a line break, a page break. So now if I go back here, will I see just the top? Nope. Yeah, it's not quite what I want. Maybe I actually need to do it like, actually copy it like this. So I go here and I go to this Vimud. Can I actually just paste it in there? It will like become the card summary? Yeah, I guess so. Okay, that works. So let's go to 2008. Goals are the same as 2007. And the realization was I need to make a side scratch pad. There's a way of doing that in this. The scratch pad comes from what? Did I script all my outputs? No, I didn't. There's some way of seeing a scratch pad. Where was it again? Window, show scratch pad. So I'll just copy stuff into there. Goals will largely the same. This year, future mobility. Let's copy all this stuff down. And I'm just going to distill this. Reputation, these are future mobility. Pillar 1. Pillar 2. Oh, that's janky formatting. Financial resources, fund possibilities. Chutzpah. And judging my attitude toward business collaboration. Be unafraid of trying things publicly. And the idea is to create opportunity. Alright, so these are things that are going to go in the next one. I wish this would stay. So 2008. Same as 2007. Oops, that's weird. Plus. Oh, I can't actually edit this. I can't insert line breaks into it. Plus. Make things meet as many awesome people as possible. And also reputation as a writer-designer. Financial resources. Mobility makers. I'm going to still these things down. Grow financial resources. Chutzpah. Wish all this wasn't. How come the style's all screwy? Ugh, stupid. Going through the process again of just making this so I can summarize, look at this and see the patterns of growth, or the patterns between each year. And then hopefully that will make it so that I can come up with my 2018 goals. Oops, that's too many. Same as 2000. Okay, so 2009 is what? What the hell? Streets to Athens. this is really the key statement here. This is the resolution. Is to live a meaningful life. I'd like to be selfish. Have a sense of authorship. So that's the resolution for I wonder where these notes are appearing. There is, how do I see the pane on the, was it the property pane? Show inspector. I think that might be it. Yeah. Yeah, this is, oh, there's a synopsis panel. Okay, good. So I can just paste this in here. Okay. 2009. Those 2010s goal. What is the resolution? You guys using rear past. We're going to start right about what catches the eyes. In 2009, I don't remember saying this. That's a better way of putting it. Vision. 2010. Set of principles. Communicate. Rewriting this 3.0 communication. The variety, people in a variety of ways, face-to-face through online media. Do everything day. Be involved with other people's dreams. Those are the principles. I guess there's no bullet pointing there. That's 2011. This is a recap. Split resolutions into 2 parts. Master resolutions, personal resolutions, specific task account reflect. The same goals, same as before, plus excellence, awesome, awesomeness, and persistence. awesomeness. Better compass than design development. Try excellence, mental discipline. Awesomeness. Feeling of breaking. Expectation, is that right? Exploding. So that was the goals for that year. Make products and expand the line to increase revenue. That's financial independence. Okay, in 2012, what was I saying? Create a system for self-sustaining life balance. Focus on tangible metrics of income. Passive income. Tangible amounts on raising level of passive income. Those are the two things. Still trying. Focus. Focus. In dollar. In fixed dollar, in defined target. Levels. Profit would be a good place. Actually, I didn't think that at the time. So, 2013. The 2013 goals, what were they? If you're just tuning in, I spent the past few hours looking at the gathering what my past Groundhog Day Resolutions goals were so I can see the overall pattern. Now I'm distilling them down. It took a while to gather all this stuff. 2013. Let's see. Pattern was terrible executing. In hindsight, I could see my past relations. My past resolutions. So in 20,000 were figuring out what was one, rewarding and sustainable. Execution was poor. Felt poor. Hey, someone popped in. Who is it? Hey, Reggie.
Mike, how you going?
It's going okay? Just slogging through this stuff. Yeah. Just going again. So right now, so what I'm doing is I am writing summaries for each of these cards so I can put them here. So hopefully I can look at the pattern then and see where this points in 2018.
A lot to go through.
Yeah, so I'm at, where am I now? I think I was working on 2011, 2012. This part's actually going pretty quick since I have gathered everything. So 20. Well, I've done the hard clerical work. I'm hoping that after this, like, it'll be utterly clear, like, what the pattern is. This I have no idea if it will be, but I don't know. I try not to. But it's a mystery that's fun to figure out. Like, I have all this data. Where is it going to point to some sort of secret treasure that I couldn't see before? Like that scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark, is it, when they're looking for the X in the floor of the church thing, and they can't see it when they're on the floor, but then they go into the second floor, look down, and they can see it faded in there. Hoping for something like that. Or it'll be in the part that gets edited out of all these treasure hunting things, looking through piles of books and not finding anything, and oh well. Looking forward to 2013, more concrete goals I wanted. Strive toward excellence, learn how to make wonderful things. Share what I know. Bring the means for converting ideas into tangible goal. This is the new product every day. New product every day for February. That was one of the things. And I guess these principles. Strive toward excellence, or principles. Strive toward excellence. Learn to make good by making bad first. That kind of is the same thing. Excellence. Learn to make share with like-minded people. Build means for converting ideas into tangible. What does that mean? I don't know. Be fully present. Transactions. Be visible, accessible, and willing to fail. Okay, so 2014, what was that about? Let's see. Two main problems. Factory model. I think I was trying to dissociate from the factory model. Is that right? Maybe not. No, this is really more about... okay. Identified factory style business model weaknesses with respect to me. One, structure is confining, motivating. Makes sense, but feels confining and demotivating. Initiating first steps is major resistance. Resistance or resistance? Respect to me. So, more first steps. Let's planning. Solution. fix with resolution. Initiating matrix as faces steps. Starting projects is a major. Let me rephrase that. First steps face major resistance. And my solution. Oh. As I combine them. Try experiment with focusing on make as many first steps. I don't think that's I don't recall that ending well. So 2015, we're getting close. Overall goals. Break dependency. Time. Minimize energy sapping possessions. Responsibilities. Be full-time stationary business by end of year. Find will to create and share. Build health and strength. Except that I have enough to work with. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Have lots of strengths. Trust them. No, that's my interpretation now, so I will leave that out. 2016. Let's see, creating good works. Break unrealistic association of speed with expectations of speed and efficiency. Undermine my motivation. Embrace soulness. Certainty is the way forward. It works. Optimization comes afterwards. And then the goals were 1 goal, neat side business, progress on 2024 goals, share what I love. Challenge. Thing day challenge. That's 2016. How about 2017? What did I do in 2017? Creative interdependence. Interdependence, not just independence. Now, what was the year for the mind-blowing synergy thing? 2014? I think that was 2015. No? 2014? Wait, these look the same. No, it's just my eyes going crazy. When did I do that? Was it 20? It wasn't 2014. 2013. Goal. Achieve financial independence. These are big fucking goals. Complete big projects. Oh, it was 2017 I did that. Really? I thought it was earlier. Goal. Generate money from what I make as I pursue my own interests. Creative independence. Form connections with like-minded peers, making sharing what we do together. Do comma as group. With each other. Creative interdependence. And we're getting to almost getting. Is this a foundation for happiness? Mind-blowing, productive synergy. Feel alive. Not be bored. Okay. Alright, and I can finally look at this thing. What does it look like? Oh. Let's hide the... Where is the... What's the thing called again? Inspector. Hide the inspector. Alright. This is what... This is a distillation of 11 years worth of Groundhog Day resolutions on one page. I should print it out. Will it fit? Oh no, this one's too long. Let me edit this one again. 2013 is too long. Oh, that's not the right key combination. There we go. Let's close these things.
You're doing a podcast with Sid again.
Yes, we've picked it up again. Okay, does that fit now? Now 2010 is too long. Create with. Create around the people I like and respect. And make an honest book. Don't think I need that. Create tangible new things every day. Then show what you've made. Goal. That's much more distilled. I'm just trying to shorten all of these as much as possible. Goals, same as before, make product span, us, persistence. Well, trying. Okay, assistance of focus. Goal. Identified. Alright, so that is it. Can I print this? No, it prints as a bunch of stupid looking cards. What's the way we're going to export this? I want to see the card view. Alright, let's try this. If I go black and white, single-sided, is there a way I can get a... Let's do multiple booklet printing. Does it not let me do that in Scrivener? I suppose I could just print it like this. Yeah, let's do that. I just printed this thing out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this up into chunks of stuff. Oh, Kidley's back. Hey, Kidley. I was working on this. This is the, I don't know if you saw this, the distillation of 11 years of Groundhog Day Resolution goals. So I'm going to cut these out into pieces of paper and then swirl them around and hope that something comes to mind when I do that. I'm going downstairs to the printer, getting it now. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. These are all warped now. All right, you printer. Give me your papers. Looks like a too bad I don't have an index card printer. Do 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 do. Ow 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 ow. Oh, right. So I got these things here. Let's set up this table. I just got some cables in. I can plug in the mixer into the external speakers, so that'll be. I can actually then use the mixer board as my regular sound card for the Mac. That would be nice. Just getting some room here. I didn't wear my hat. I guess I could use a pair of scissors and cut these, but then I wouldn't get to use this paper cutter. And what is life if you can't use a paper cutter and you want to? One not worth living. Assuming they don't screw this up. Let's see, is this even loaded? It is, okay. It doesn't have to be super precise either. he says as he lines it up to the closest sub-millimeter. This side's hard to line up for some reason. Don't know why. Da, 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 ba, da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Oh, I completely blew that cut. What happened there? Da, da, da. Recut this side. Yeah, screwed up. Then to the night. Close enough. At least this cuts it out so you can do this, prints it out so you can do this kind of cutting. It's pretty cool. Oh no, I dropped everything. And one more cut. All right. So now I've got a bunch of cards. This is not straight. I got a bunch of cards now that I can then contemplate and swish around. Let's get rid of this thing though. Throw out this stuff. Doop. Put this down here. Throw this stuff out. All right, now for the moment of truth. Why is that looking so funny? Actually, the better way of lighting this up would be to use this. Oh, actually, I can stream from here. Is it yellow? Using a TV as a big light. And over here, I'm setting up the. I started streaming 44 minutes ago, apparently. Yeah. That's my big old belly. Let's put this stuff away again. All right. So, a bunch of these cards now. I should put cardstock into the printer. 2008, 2011, 2014, 2017, 2012, 2015. It's a blank card. 2009, 2007, 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and then here is 2018. Let's just stare at that for a bit. Move this out of the way. Boop. So, some 5 hours later, this is where I wanted to get. I wanted to get to the point where I could look at the cards like this, thinking that this would somehow give me an insight into what the hell it is I'm trying to do for 2018. Did I know this would work? No. Will it work? Maybe. Who knows? Let me just check some stuff here real quick. We restarted the stream pink. Yep. All right. Oh, what happened? It got dark. I don't know why it did that. There's some very weird looking stuff on the screen. So, let me read each one of them. In 2007, I said, let's bring down a bit. Commit to deriving income from writing and making stuff. Build sustainable social networks. Sell a product this year. Okay. In 2007, or 2008, same as 2007, plus make things, shift toward independent content creation, meet as many awesome people as possible. Mobility makers, reputation, financial resource, and chutzpah. So let me compare these two cards now. So when I'm saying commit to deriving income from writing and making stuff, why was that? That was the idea that I liked being an independent content creator, and it'd be nice if I could make a living doing that. Build sustainable social networks. That was a recognition that I can't do this by myself. This was probably after the first time I went to South by Southwest Interactive and met people who I clicked with, at least conceptually. I was way too shy to really make any friends there, but going to a place for the first time and seeing or meeting people who seem to have the same goals or the same desire to make cool stuff, it was really, really eye-opening. So that was important. So I have the feeling that I can. Why does the screen keep going dark? It's annoying. Wake up! If we go full screen, maybe it'll be better. Still a little dark looking. I can turn this on. Will that help? A little bit? It helps a little bit. Still kind of dark. So the idea of having the same goals in 2008, but adding these things. This is a re-emphasizing aspect of it. Again, I would say the key elements are, I think I like being my own voice. I liked meeting people that shared similar creative values. How can I fund this, essentially? So then in 2008, these become more of a strategy. These are the how to do that. So these two things here are about one. I think I had the nascent realization that if I made stuff, I would figure it out. Well, making stuff is in the... These are more directives. So these two things here, the making things, shifting toward independent content creation. I would say this is about being more tangible. And then meeting as many awesome people as possible. This is more about something else. And then this is about something else. This is one. This is two. And that's clear what the pattern is. This looks like a refinement of 2007, but I'm not sure yet. 2009. We're looking at a vision. It's to live a meaningful life of individual creativity and contribution. The directive is to be involved with dreams that are larger than myself. Resolution, create a shop filled with stuff that I like. This is a continued refinement. I'll say the vision to create a meaningful life of individual creativity and contribution. This is a clarification of 2007. The clarification of why pursue this path. We'll pursue the 2007 goals. The directive to be involved with dreams larger than myself, this was a recognition that it has to be social. Oh yeah, so before here we're talking about meeting as many people as possible. This is other people are interesting. And I want to feel connected. Feel some kind of connection. This one is by focusing on being a maker. Be a source of made things. Which equals, I would say it equals, it's the same as owning the means to define creative destiny, let's call it. This is kind of an early, this is like almost like a reminder. And then 3, the mobility maker thing. recognize that I have to acquire the veneer of being interesting, the appearances, let's say, / trappings to have options. So like, if people have seen your work and they like it, that makes them more likely to talk to you because they'll recognize what you've done. I think that's the general idea I'm getting at. The directive here, again, in 2009, to be involved with dreams that are larger than myself, this is a realization. Can't do it by myself. Or rather, it's hard to motivate myself. That's more accurate, to be self-motivated by just my own dreams. And I think good insights happen with others, and it feels good. The resolution to create a shop filled with things I like, this is the reification of the 2007 Goal 1. It's more defined, easier to visualize. So there's the first 3 years. 2010, create around people I like, respect, and make an honest buck as follows. Goal, create tangible new things every day and then show what you've made. Be involved in dreams that are bigger than yourself. I would say this is a continuation of 2009. And it's another affirmation or affirming that people I like have to, or rather, are an important part of I'm going to say good creative life as I seem to desire. I'm noticing that I'm still really not that clear on how this works. So each individual new goal seems to bring in a new wrinkle of refinement. So it's not exactly the same thing every year, but it's a little bit different. So then the next one, let's put these off to the side. The next one is same as same as before. Make products and expand the line to increase revenue. Expanding the line is, I think, something new. So I'd say this is this when I first realized that it was working? Yeah, it's this was a scale up as a focus. And then secondly, the excellence, awesomeness, and persistence. This is a reminder This is about my way. When did I first start writing about my way? This is the way about what I want to do it. New. The way. The way I do/make things is an important part /qualifier of my work, as I want it to be seen and understood. That might be not quite right, but I'll go with her now. 2012, continuation. 2 parts. Still making products. Still making products. But this is when I started noticing that I was having trouble balancing all aspects of life. With creativity, motivation, and momentum. This was also the first year of raising plus pick an actual target, pick a net revenue target. That would be nice. Before then, I was just seeing if I could make anything that makes sense to live on. Because I think this was the year when I noticed that I was actually making money off of the various stationery products. In 2013, the goals were achieve financial independence, complete big projects. This is when I did the new product every day in February. Principles: strive toward excellence, learn to make good by making bad stuff first, share with like-minded people, be present in personal transactions, be visible, accessible, willing to fail. I would say 2013 it was about daring then. Daring. And being willing to try things, being willing to try. And there's also a little bit of breaking things down into smaller steps. I'll refrain from writing on that one from now because I'm not sure where it's going. This feels like there was a change that happened in my mindset. In fact, if I were to identify, let's go back and look. 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010. This is really about making and trying to understand what it was that I wanted to get from other people. I was still feeling relatively selfish, I could say, in a kind way. I knew that I liked certain people. I wanted to be around people. I wasn't sure what would make them interested in me, but I recognized that there was a direction that I wanted that. And then starting in 2011, this starts to become more about me returning to the things that excite me about making things. This is just realizing that I'm making things I like. I like being the author of my own works. I like doing, and I like it that when people like my stuff, let's say. And then 2011, this is about seeing that it works. So the product making works, I would say. I might have recognized that. My peak blogging times were between 2007 and 2008, 2009. In 2010. 2011 is when they started to dip a bit. So product making works in 2011. I'm getting back to my way. I would say I'm getting confidence. Gain confidence in / my way. And then 2012, this is kind of a crisis year, it looks like. That's crisis plus challenge, because I'm realizing I'm struggling with this. I'll have to go back and see what I actually wrote to see if that's true, but that's a pattern I can see. Recognize struggle. Try to be more concrete. With targets. Then 2013, this is when I've seen the little things work. 2014 is when I am starting to see the big pictures as systems. Let's see if that continues. And so starting 2014, I start to tweak the system so it suits my personality more. And in 2015, what am I saying? This is a kind of acceptance. I have enough to work with, and I have a lot of strengths. This is, again, a continuation of confidence building. So this is also about my way. And then 2016, unrealistic expectations of speed and efficiency. Embrace slowness. This is coming to a realization that, whereas before I was thinking really about the model, I was impatient that the model did not execute quickly. So these things take time. Well, as far as like I know what the goal is, stuff takes time. I would say in 2015 I would have like a higher degree of confidence. That I know it's important. That I have the resources and skills to execute. But I'm floundering. I could describe this. I have the skills, but why doesn't it work? I have skills, model, but why me stuck? This was like a test of, this was the year I really flopped on too. The great big challenge. This was a year of frustration. So I was trying to simplify the factory to human scale. That's what having a neat side business is about. Sharing what I love is reconnect with positive emotions. Something I may have forgotten in 2015. (2014), this is when I see the system. System model as sound. But I am imperfect. And need workarounds. It was 2014. In 2013, I think I said that I see that the previous 6 years, I think at this point, I became confident that I really want creative independence. Independence and authorship of my destiny. That's a terrible turn of phrase, but that's what I get for writing in pen. 2013, 2014, 2015, higher degree of confidence. Just need to execute. Then in 2016, I have skills, but why me stuck? What hair was like burned out and flopped. Burn out and flop. And finally in 2017, goal, generate money from what I make as I pursue my own interests, creative independence. Goal for connections with like-minded people. This is the big merging of two ideas. I think this is where I understood how I relate to other people. This is whereas the factory model, the system model, I see the system plus people in it clearly. And then this is also the mind-blowing productive synergy. This is the formula for community building of the type I like. In a way, this goes all the way back to 2007. So here I said, I like being my own voice. I like meeting people that share similar creative values. How can I find this? Or fund it? Fund? And then in 2017, I see how the system works. I still want to make money from what I do, creative independence. The creative independence was defined when? I think it was here? 2016. 2017 was creative interdependence. And then, like, what's the formula for happiness? Mind-blowing productive synergy. And there's stuff at the end of it that's not even in here. So the first formula for happiness, I think, makes an appearance in 2011. Here, 2009 is when they have the first inkling of what the formula for happiness is. Live a meaningful life. Be involved with dreams larger than myself. Create a shop filled with stuff I like. It all seems to rotate to go around the idea of making stuff, creating stuff, and sharing stuff, which is something I have not lost sight of. But within the goal structure itself, I'm not sure if I really ever saw it that clearly. So that's where I am right now. I'm an hour and 15 minutes into this. How can I turn this into actions, actual goals for the year? Let me get a drink. What will I drink? Unfortunately, I already ate dinner. Something to eat either. I guess I could make some protein. It's probably not a bad idea. Oh, here's a chicken breast I could poach. Let me try to remember what it is about Groundhog Day Resolutions that I want to get out of it. The idea of Groundhog Day Resolutions is to provide a focusing mechanism so I make some kind of progress during the year. And so if I'm making progress during the year, that will move me closer to my goals. And do I know what my goal is? Yeah, I do. My goal is to be happy, and my current formula for happiness is creative independence plus creative interdependence and following my own way. Really following my own way. So, what projects do I pick for making that happen? Well, it comes down to creative independence is what? Making stuff and making money from it. What is creative interdependence? Creative interdependence is being around people that I like, sharing what I'm making with what they're sharing. Creative independence, creative interdependence, I think I've actually achieved. If I look at all the social media stuff I've done, and I haven't done it as a way of directly monetizing what I'm doing, but I have we have the chat room now. There's all these people doing cool things in there. We're not necessarily aligned into working the same projects, but I'm seeing some people start to collaborate, which is wonderful. People are interested in what I'm doing. They're making suggestions. I'm doing the feedback with them and trying as much as possible to just kind of make a cycle of sharing and trying things out. And this feeds into the ability to make new products. I have good relations with my printer now. I've been working with him now for 10 years, I think. Really? Almost 10 years. So we know each other now. That's fantastic. We're getting the podcast going again. We've had some rough spots just in like kind of getting through the creative stuff. It feels like this year, though, I need to really commit to the way, the excellence. So excellence, then there's independence and interdependence. This kind of is excellence mastery, specifically in software. Then there's also what else is it? Let's try to think of the name for it. The Tao? Yeah, like the way of Dave, the Tao of Dave. So I have a pretty good idea of what my way is. I guess there's a tendency for me to not really merge the way of things with the systematic desire of it. I'm not sure what I'm trying to say. Let me just put this chicken in first. There you go, chickens. Let's put this, and at that level, I'll do 45 minutes. Um, so, okay, let me ask what I know. What do I know? I know I want creative independence. That's making a living, creating things, and making money from that. Um, and enjoying the process. I know I want creative interdependence, which is a way of phrasing being around people I like. These are sort of the high level system views. Creative independence is a system view. Creative interdependence is a system view. Creative interdependence is me doing the creative independence part of it, but including other people. That includes being involved with other people, other people's projects, being dreams that are larger than mine. Um, that's actively cultivating community. Um, so these are all wonderful things, right? But what am I missing? Um, what's missing are the big completed projects, I think. That's one thing that comes to mind. Big completed projects. How do those fit into the vision? Why have big completed projects? This is big completed projects. Those lead to opportunities. And going back to another card, recognition. When I said I wanted to, in 2008, mobility makers, reputation as a writer-designer, growing financial resources, developing chutzpah. Big completed projects is one of those things. That builds reputation. By making cool shit. And so by making cool shit, that is in terms of design. That's in terms of capability. It's in terms of just existing. And it's also something to do with a body of work. So I'm thinking big completed projects which come from mastery, which lead to this. But I guess one of the questions is, but is this happiness? Or is it merely what I need to do to survive? So this is what I'm wondering. This is the potential goal for 2018. I think it's big completed projects, but I don't know if that's going to make me happy. I think it's a stepping stone toward it. It will increase capability, which I have this desire to do. Increase capability. I am frustrated. Examples of things in this category are making large software systems, writing a book, being able to handle large things that are more impressive. I would say up till now, I've only done small things. Small seeming things. Where's my other index cards? Here's one. Let me put these away. This over here. Excellent. So, Let me put this over here for now. And let's look at the notes I took for the Groundhog Day resolution stuff. Let's bring this up a little bit. And while I'm looking at that, I'll get something else to drink. It's getting to the time where I have to like give the cat his insulin, though. I guess I can talk through it. Let me write down what it is I'm doing. Just as a trigger, I'm going to look at this. See, here's the list of big personal projects right here. The one that I've been wondering about. Paul Galliford says, do the projects need to be big? I think projects need to be defined as a project to be done and focus on the next action for each one. Progress will make you happy. GHDRs stem from projects, yes or no? Not necessarily. GHDRs are kind of a nebulous definition of what I think I want to do to make myself happy, I think. I never really formally defined it. In fact, a lot of my goals, if you're talking about what a goal is or what a project is, they've kind of flopped back and forth between. They've never really all been all that well defined. If you go back through the old posts, I mean, even just looking at this. Let's see if I'm looking at. That's a weird effect. Let's see. Let's take a look at this again with that in mind. I'm not sure if this is what you're asking, Paul. Just say so if it's not your question. So, like in 2007, these were my Groundhog Day resolutions. And this expressed a desire and some guesses as to what would help. Commit to deriving income from writing and making stuff, knowing that I was finding that I liked writing and making stuff, more so than I thought. Then in 2010, create around people I like, respect, make an honest buck by following the creation of tangible new things every day, showing what I've made, and being involved with dreams larger than myself. Look at your question again. Maybe I didn't understand it. Do the projects need to be big? I think projects need to be defined as a project to be done. Why is that? Why have the project at all? That's the question. If I look at the big projects in this term, well, let me see if I can reframe them. The reason why I have big projects like this, these are small ones. What are my big projects? Okay, let me look at this. Let me look at the old 2024 goals and see what it is I don't like about them anymore. I mean, maybe one missing piece of context is like I tend to want to do things that are epic. And for me, epic are things that are really difficult that I've never been able to do. So these are probably the very worst things that I should be worrying about. So let's see. I think this is the blog post. I wrote this in my 10th year of blogging. You can see all the various incarnations of my website over the years up to that point. A million words to nowhere. I probably should reread this. So this goes along with the big projects, but these no longer are the goals I think I have. These are creative goals: making a video game, illustrating a book, creative independence, music composition, develop thinking tools, fabricating physical goods, cooking science. Nope, there goes the cat's alarm clock. Go back to Oxcam. It looks like Kiddly is saying something. I decided to do this thing and then I did it, yay. Because that. Yes, and build momentum toward bigger projects. That's interesting. There's something that I'm just not getting about this. This might be my blind spot. Like maybe it's what this might go back to what motivation is. Why do these things at all? You keep going back to the why. The why is a motivational thing. There is something in me that prevents me just from doing something unless I have a really, 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 really good immediate desire for the why of things. If I don't have a personal immediate desire, then I need to have other people's motivations there. I am doing this because such person A is trying to solve this problem, and I think I know how to do it. So by having these big goals, maybe it goes all the way back to just wanting to have the creative independence. Why do I want creative independence? And it maybe is something as contrary as like, I don't want people telling me what to do. I don't want to have to do anything. But not to have the freedom of not doing anything, I need to actually have the means to not do anything at all. So it could be as terrible as that. Let me write this down. Why? That's not a real great reason for it, but that seems to be where it comes from. Why have creative independence? Why have creative independence? And sort of the flippant answer might be, I don't want people telling me what to do. Just to survive. Also, I don't want to have to do anything that seems dumb or mundane. So those are the flippant answers to that. I'm not saying that this is what I should be following up with. Kidley asks, how often do I take a whole day off? It seems like every day I'm taking a day off. I think I have a belief that what I do isn't real work. Let me write that. This might be the survivor guilt thing. I have a belief that I'm not doing real work. Eric, there's a kind of survivor guilt with that. And so what do I mean by that? Well, I feel very lucky to be able to do what I do. I'm streaming this from this computer. I've got all this expensive gear here. I'm spending 6 hours dwelling on my life purpose as if someone gave me permission to do that. As if anyone really would care. And I don't care that other people may not care. I suspect that some people might find this interesting, but I feel exceptionally lucky to be able to do this, and I'm a little bit embarrassed that I'm allowed to do this, or to even allow myself to do it. I mean, maybe I developed chutzpah after all. I have the chutzpah to put my thoughts out there. How dare I on the internet and have people read them as if they're important. But I also believe that no one's stopping me, and if people really want to write anything better, why don't they put their money on the table and do it? Silently judging me is not something that I respect. Put your cards on the table. Show me what you've got. Come at me. Show me what you're thinking. I can't abide people who can't show me what they're thinking. If they're coming after me or something. But when it comes down to how often do I take a whole day off, I mean, really? A day off from thinking like this? I'll think an awful lot about things like this. Although not as much as I used to. I guess there's a balancing issue too. And so the balancing issue would be balance. That is, well, right now the balancing is between contract work, which is paying the bills, domestic chores, which I hate doing. And that's things like taking care of like bills and insurance and planning for retirement or planning for my old age. Then there's also maintaining social networks, which I find very draining. Yeah, this is like face-to-face ones rather. This is I need energy and motivation. Energy plus motivation. Domestic chores, I just need to keep up with them. And the last thing is what? What else is on my balancing? Contract, domestic chores, maintaining social networks. Oh, duh. It's this is making content to share and enjoy. That's very time consuming. It's also designing tangible work. That's to new. That's to keep relevant. And this just happens. There's also product marketing. And that's also business accounting. And that's also, a big part of it is just sort of like personal identity work. That's always actually been a heavyweight thing. This is why I've been writing so much, I think, in journals and stuff. These are things that come to mind right now. And then somewhere on top of all of this is somewhere in here, GHDR is supposed to somehow fix all this stuff. Overwatch. At least in my mind, that's what GHDRs are kind of at the nexus point of. Designed to solve this problem, but maybe I haven't specified it as really a solution for this balance problem, because I'm not sure it really is. This is a good point. Kaylee says, if you feel guilty about having a fortunate life, what would happen if you gave some resources to less very unfortunate people? I don't know. I guess I'm of two minds. This is going to sound like very ungenerous. The people who I've tried to help have not always been a positive influence back on me. I guess there's a general principle I have is not to be around people who drain my energy. Another way of putting that is not to be around people who use me as a battery to overcome their lack of energy. So the way that I think I contribute resources is I make all this stuff available for free. I try to be as open as possible. I try not to try to fool people into thinking I know more than I do. I try to be present. I try to be real. And if there's something I can pass along to someone that I can give away or afford to do that, sit with someone and talk to them about their stuff, I do that. I do that a lot. It doesn't really feel like And I guess I do it because I feel fortunate to have had good friends and to have had the time to think about this stuff. Um, but volunteering to like drive people to the airport for like a bus service or something like that, or to go and contribute my time to a soup kitchen, that doesn't really seem to fit well with me. Um, and one of my hangups there is that I can't abide unorganized organizations. I've joined nonprofits in the past to see if I liked or see how if I could make a contribution to it. And I suppose I could, but it meant swallowing an awful lot of frustration with how the organization itself was, not efficient or didn't see the value of certain types of communication. And it's a hang up that I have just putting up with it. I really can't abide it. Um, I mean, I guess if I was lucky, I would find the perfect organization to join that was run by competent people, that wasn't political in any way, wasn't trying to manipulate me or or try to prove to other people how good they were. I'm letting a lot of negative blanket statements prevent me from doing these things. But I guess I see a better use of my time, doing what I'm doing. But nevertheless, I feel, kind of guilty about it. Um, Maybe the way I can put it is I feel guilty, but not apologetic. If that makes sense. For example, if someone were to come up to me and says, like, dude, you're so lucky to be able to do what you do. Um, and it must be nice. Like I used to get this when I used to work in the video game industry. Oh, it must be nice to play games all the time. And someone will say, oh, you work for a video game company. It must be nice to work for Electronic Arts. No, it wasn't. And it's not easy. And, or people who see me working as a freelancer and saying, look, oh, you must be free to help me do this thing. Says, no, I'm doing a lot of stuff. Or I have a lot of stuff on my mind, and you have no idea what it takes to do this kind of thing. And, I feel kind of insulted by it. So, I don't know. So guilty but not apologetic. I guess I've resolved that for myself. Let me write that down because that's a good turn. That's a good phrase. Guilty, or feel guilty, but not apologetic. Maybe a little bit embarrassed about things. And it's tempting to say like, oh, the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing is because, oh, I made smart decisions about my life at the right time. But I don't see it that way. I see it as like I was really lucky to be interested in the things I was and to meet the people that I did and to form groups with people who are doing things, who wanted to make things that were exceptional and excellent. And it's been a while since I've been in groups like that. This is probably being in the Discord chat room has been probably the first time that I'm seeing more than one person every few months that have that dream in them, trying to do something, trying to make something that's new, trying to figure stuff out. And so that in that way, having the chat room has been really great for. Hi, kitty. I forgot to feed you. Has been really great just for reconnecting with ideas of being excellent, of being awesome, and pursuing things that have meaning, that have. Oh, the cat is like just blasted all rational thought out of my head because he is purring. Look at the camera. Look. Oh. We almost lost mission control. You stand on my shoulder? You never do that. So anyways, guilty but unapologetic. And Kaylee says, it's hard to socialize with people who are drained. Yeah, when I'm around people who are drained, I mean, it's not like I don't hang out with people who are facing difficulties. It takes kind of like a light hand, I think, to help people like that without them feeling like they're being, looked down on, or like they're not measuring up. So, and like I also find myself in the same place too. Like, like why? So I have all this freedom. Why aren't I super productive? Uh, I know exactly what I'm supposed to be, what I could be doing, and how great it would be. Why aren't I doing it? And a lot of people who are drained are kind of in that same place. It could be like a grueling commute that they have to make every day, or they don't have time to themselves because they've got 16 kids, or they're working in a really emotionally demanding job. Um, and I think my response to that is you've got to make the room for it. I mean, you can't do everything. As much as like I'm saying this, and I keep trying to do everything. But you need to make the room for yourself. You need to make the room and the time. And you also have to, you can't do it all at the same time either. Can't do it all at the same time. And I think that's like an important element of this year's Groundhog Day Resolution system, is to keep that in mind. So let's look at these real quick, but I probably should go feed the cat. I'll be right back. I'm going to feed the cat. Why is this screen all weird looking? The webcam is all in a weird place. Oh, that's weird. What? Oh, this screen got screwed up. I'll have to fix that later. That's because I resized these sources. Alright, so we'll just leave it at that for a moment. Okay, can you keep them company? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna feed you. So come with me. All right, cat. You stand here, and I will get some food for you. And while you're concentrating on the food, I will stick you with a needle. We got a deal? 18 minutes to the chicken is probably ready. And here is the food. And I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking all of this, but if there's anything I'm good at, it's overthinking the crap out of stuff. But if I'm overthinking so I can come to clarity on something and come up with a very simple approach, ideally for the coming year. Something actionable. And now I'm thinking about what Paul was saying about his project approach. It sounds like he has a different approach to doing these kind of things. I guess I could go read and see how other people do their goal setting. I mean, like, why can't I just pick something like, I want to lose 20 pounds and then be done with it? Why am I making this so complicated? I mean, I think, well, partly it's like, well, I have these big projects, right? Where do they come from? Why have big projects? Why not have small projects? Small projects don't interest me. I think that's what it comes down to. I'm already doing all those small projects. I want the big picture context that makes it all worthwhile, that stitches it all together. I want those big blockbuster achievements. And maybe that's where I'm being unrealistic. Like he said, the big projects come from achieving the little projects, but I also know myself well enough to know that the pursuit of little projects and so I can do a big project, I find that incredibly boring. And this is a character flaw maybe, or an unrealistic thing. in my head that I had to overcome. If that makes sense. So having said that, maybe there is a solution. Maybe there is a solution to that. Okay, let me go back over and take a look over here. Hour and 50 minutes in. That means we're 6 hours into this pre-planning session. I'm going to take a look at this thing now and see what this says. Oh, you see this? Groundhog Day Resolution 2018. I was just writing down notes. Happy bubble time. Nugget hunting. This is finding things that are valuable. That's something I enjoy doing. This is sort of like time off to myself. I know I just like working by myself. I wrote down 1, do fulfilling creative work that pays for health without expensive and research interests. 2, have regular energizing connections so I don't get bored or lonely. 3, share what I discover, learn, and create with people that have compatible values, principles, and research interests. This is like the happiness formula 2018. It's like this year's vaccine for being unhappy. Happiness formula 2018. So maybe that's the goal. So here, like maybe I have one element of the system is the happiness formula. Version 2018. Oops. That's one element of the system. And then there's a whole bunch of things here that are kind of like side issues. Just pick and commit for a thing a day 2018. Do my best work, overcome, encompass anxiety, connect with people. 2014 is the beginning of taskless, timeless yearnings. Regular schedule necessary, guilt from having enough. And then I'm looking at this. I'm just kind of looking at this to see if like I have some answers. This whole idea of not wanting telling me what to do, that might be something that's worth reflecting on. I am starting to get a little bit mentally exhausted by all this, though. I don't think that's necessary to resolve, but this whole cloud of things. Let's see. I'm going to just write them down here. Contract work. Sorry, this is sideways. Let's see if we can get a little bit closer here. Contract work. Where was that thing? What was that? Here it is. So, is this showing up? Yeah, so contract. I'm going to make a little bubble of things. That's something I'm worried about or concerned about. Domestic chores. Or household chores is a better way of putting it. Chores. What's this? Planning for what? Oh, okay. Old age planning. Social networking. Maintenance. This is kind of a chore too. You need to put time into making sure that your network works. After you leave school, it's just hard to meet people and keep connected with them. And then make content. This is a personal need. This is the personal compulsion. I don't feel right if I'm not doing it. Share and enjoy. in making tangible work. Tangible, high-quality work. That's where my sense of competence comes from. Product marketing. And related businesses. Biz ops. I'm going to include accounting with that. It's one thing. Then there is personal identity. Now, a lot of these things swirl together. So these are all bubbles. Am I leaving something out? Then there's all the goofing off time that I do, right? HBT goof off. Goofing off. I probably spend more time goofing off than, yeah, that's like just liking things. Enjoying the world. And you know, actually enjoying the world is probably these two things I forgot. Having a bowl time is actually really important. Contract work, this is important too. I seem to spend a lot of time with the content making. This I want to emphasize. This is sort of a target. This just already happens already. So I'm seeing GHDR as a way of managing this stuff. Or moving it. This is sort of the cloud. This is sort of a target. This is the target state. This is the cloud of thoughts, dreams, positive. Oh, maybe not necessarily positive. And then somewhere up here, there's GHDR. I'm trying to draw some arrows pointing at this. GHDR supervisor, scheduler, and I think it gets like a bunch of stuff that's coming from here. And then I think the idea is that it produces nuggets of stuff that feed into the happiness thing. So it looks something like that. Is that a realistic reason to do it, though? I don't know. Huh. Oh, look, there's a giant hand behind me. That's kind of cool. There's two of me. All right, so I'm just thinking a bit now. In the past, my Groundhog Day resolutions were trying to create things. So the GHDR, this was like the focus filter, and then there was maybe the unfocused. This is supposed to be the mindful thing. Mindful and quantified. Unfocused. This would also contribute. I suppose also then there's the sense of who am I? This is the black box. Who am I? This is the stuff that just happens. All right. That's actually kind of a realistic model. So there's all the things that are floating around my head. Right? Is identity here? Yeah. Things that I am expending energy on these things. Who am I? Stuff that just happens. So they also have, things that are coming in. I guess there's also some crossplay between these. So GHDR is supposed to be my executive function, maybe. Maybe this is how I'm thinking about it. This is how I'm trying to make progress on purpose. But instead of like just stuff happening, which is what happens in this other model. Oh, I forgot to show you what this. So this is what I have right now. Crap! I just dropped all of my stuff. Let me put that here. So we're gonna drop this down a bit. Get a little bit closer. So the stuff here on the bottom. This is stuff that I'm expending energy on. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 things. This is where my mind goes. Contract work, domestic chores, old age planning, social, network maintenance, making content, compulsion to share and enjoy, making tangible high quality goods and work. That's something I think is a target for this year. Because I feel that's out of balance. Maybe that's alright. Personal identity work. Who am I? What the fuck am I doing? Product marketing and business stuff. That's related to some of the other goals. HBT, goofing off. And there used to be the 2024 goals. These are all desires to do something, or desires for something happen. There's an expectation for each of these. And these things bubble up into, I would call this the executive functioning area up here. Groundhog Day Resolutions is my version of making mindful progress, I think. But what usually happens is this unfocused, like, I'm interested in this, let me see what happens, and it does this, oh, that's cool, and like, let me make this, and so forth. And then this leads to the happiness formula there. But maybe there is that desire for the big project. Big damn project. And I'm not sure how to resolve that. I mean, it reminds me of my friend Brad, who he tried to get into cartoon syndication, like when he was early in his career. And then one year he would have to make these 4-panel comics. He tried to do some full-page stuff. And then one year he realized that he really liked making the 1-panel comics, and he was good at it. So it made him laugh. He could whip those things out, and there was a market for it. But in his mind, when he was just getting started, he says, I need to create the 4-panel format that the syndicates want. And I needed to have like my, a few months worth of strips to show the strip of evolution. But then at one point he realized, I can get away with doing these 1-panel format things. And I guess it bothered him maybe that he couldn't do the big ones for some reason, but he kind of made his peace with it. haven't talked to him in a few years, so I should find out if that's still true. I know he does other contract work now that makes, I think most of his money comes from that. He does the other stuff on the side. And then kind of looking at this, I wonder if this is a thing. Let me take a picture of this and put it up someplace. Oh, I forgot to check all my mail today. Let's see. All right. I'll put this in the chat room. And I'll post it in my studio room. Uploading now. And let's go into studio chats. And that's the chicken going off. Let me upload the image to... Is this it? I think so. Open that. This is This is like my thought execution happiness model draft. I don't know what it is. I just posted it in the chat room if you want to have a closer look at it. I need to go check care of that chicken, so I will be right back. Oops, wrong screen. You can see me where I'm going. I wonder if this is cooked yet. It's been 45 minutes. I'm thinking that this is probably cooked. It's overcooked, in fact, because I forgot I was using the big burner. Is it? Maybe it's not cooked. So I am going to use this thermoprobe to see if it's hit at least 150. That's well 177 degrees. This is way overcooked. Dang it. That's what I do get for trying to like speed this along. But next time I'll know better. Okay, let's cut this. And let me get a cutting board. As I'm cutting this, so where am I leaning toward now? Ideally, Groundhog Day resolutions, if they were regular resolutions, what I'd want to have is a bunch of simple goals. And so, with that in mind, maybe the simple goals I choose this year are to work on the software mastery things, and then remind myself that I still have all these other things going on. I can still do them, but Groundhog Day resolutions themselves, I can reduce those in scope. They don't have to be this end-all, be-all system for everything, even though I've tended to think of it like that. This year, I can reduce the scope of what they do, and just say, let me see if I can get these things done, recognizing that there's no way to do everything all at once anyway. To even think that, it'd be setting myself up for failure. But is there something small that I can do that's followable that still generates things? And like what level of commitment do I want to make to it? I guess that's another thing as well. Yeah, this is way overcooked. And I'm cutting this up to make a kind of quick chicken salad sandwich. And so I think for this year, what I want to choose is the software mastery stuff. But what I can also do as part of the Groundhog Day deliverable itself is to outline kind of the totality of like the kind of things it touches in my life. Yeah, it's way overcooked. So that might be an actual approach that works. There are many goals that I have. I think I've done a pretty good job mapping what they are. I just screwed all this up. If anything, over the years, I've gotten a pretty good model of like how I think and what motivates me. Although clearly there's still areas where I haven't really answered all the questions for myself, as evidenced just by like Vicky and Reggie just asking me questions, forcing me to consider the why of it. So I really appreciate that you're asking those questions, guys. Thank you. Here I'm making chicken salad. I should put curry in this, but I'll make it just. Did I have dinner already? I did. I had a chicken pot pie. I guess this is dinner part 2. It's almost 10. Should I put mustard in this? Okay. This is my reward for thinking through this. I think I'm getting to some clarity on the other end of it. Okay. Actually, this tastes pretty good. Two hours and 11 minutes in. Let's see if I can write an outline. Just thinking out loud here. Or not thinking out loud. So along the lines of working toward a bigger project. What is the big project? The big project is me. I have a so complicated and not a completely thought out idea of like who I want to be and who I am. The little project are things that I'm picking for GHDR. As I was mentioning once before, the irony of going into year 12 of Groundhog Day Resolutions is that I had these big, grand notions of what they would accomplish. And it does mirror somewhat the arc of the Bill Murray movie. He repeats the same day over and over and over again and chasing after these false desires or just shallow ones, and eventually kind of coming into the best version of himself. I guess I'm seeking the best version of myself as I conceive of it, but it takes a lot of different, approaches or different trials to get there. So it's not as simple as, well, I guess if you break down the Bill Murray movie, spoiler alert, like he learns to play the piano. What else does he learn? He learns ice sculpting. He gets to know the people of the town. And somehow along the way, he, I guess, kind of loves the place just because he knows people. Whereas before once he realizes he's stuck in this loop, he just tries all these things. He lives the life of a criminal. And then he turns his eyes onto somehow, sleeping with his producer, who doesn't have it because she thinks he's a huge creep, and he is at the beginning of the movie. And he eventually fakes his way into it, almost succeeds, and then is unable to get it back. And then at some point, something changes in the movie in which, like, he's kind of come to peace with it. He starts taking piano lessons. He starts doing all this stuff, and becomes a better person just because he kind of wants to. Am I kind of going down that same arc, that same path? I think there are elements of it, and I don't know what the answer is, and I distrust easy answers. But maybe it is easy answers that provide the insight, or are the past. Let me write that down. Maybe the answer is simply not to care. We're creeping into Zen Buddhist things. Rather than try to force this into a big complex system, rather than breaking down the system, rather than break down the system, rather than deconstruct the system, rather than deconstruct the system, what else is the option? Trust that there is a system? Trust the system leads you to where you're going based on what you do. Now, the issue I have with a statement like this is like it's the sort of thing that someone will tell you not really knowing the answer themselves either. It's a platitude, or it's an homily. And I don't like those kind of things. So there's some measure of control I want to maintain over it. I don't want to buy into someone else's spiritualism and let them have the satisfaction of just having absorbed something based on not wanting to engage with the problem and kind of giving up on it. But maybe the bridging thought is that I can control small things. Small good things. And trust that they go somewhere. In fact, that's kind of similar to my view with the whole idea of like doing the whole making and sharing thing. The way that I look at it is kind of like almost like a karmic circle, but I think of it in terms of more pragmatic terms. Example, if you make something but don't show it to somebody, there's no chance that will impact someone or change someone's way of looking at the world. It's only the moment where you show it to somebody, and by extension show the universe what you've done, is that the universe has a chance to react to you. So that's why I keep going the making and sharing, making and sharing. The trick is you don't have any idea how the universe is going to react or that person's going to react. You can hope that they like it or something, but what often happens is something completely unexpected springs up front because you dared engage with the universe. And so using that principle is I can still have control, and this will feed back into what Paul was saying earlier about do the projects need to be big. You like And you say progress will make you happy. GHDRs stem from projects? Yes, no. I had said earlier that they don't necessarily, but they can. Because I'm trying to resolve a whole bunch of things at the same time. The key desire is just to be happy, not bored, and not starve to death. Have the means to buy interesting things and to share them. It's nice to be generous with what you have. If I had like a good revenue stream, then I could support to be generous with my time. You know, instead of like, oh, I've got to work. Oh, I've got to work. Instead, it says, I've worked out, built all this other stuff, and so now what I can do is spend the time with you. So the idea was like once I got all this stuff working, I could just travel to where people were doing stuff, and I would spend some time working on things, and not worry about is this going to pay the bills because I had to have this many billable hours per month to be able to pay off these things. So building the system so I can do that kind of work or just sleep all the time, to have those options, to have the flexibility. I think that's important to me. But maybe this is the key control. This is a way of respinning what Paul was saying about projects not having to be big. Although I think I'm missing something here. Maybe there are no big projects. If I were to rephrase what he's saying, not to pursue big projects, but to watch projects grow. Does that make sense? So, and before I was thinking in terms of the factory model, that one sets a large target, instead of setting a target being this large end result. So instead, let's go back to this camera. Instead of pursuing large, big project as the target, see what big projects emerge from chaining small projects together, and see what you get. That is an emergent approach. Not the sort of thing that a project manager would like to see, but it might be what suits me. And that might be worth pursuing this year. This could be emergent bigness, having a certain comfort with trusting the universe / system is still compatible with the whole gathering model. I think this could work. I think that's the base of it. So this, I think, is the key test for this year. So it's thanks to Paul for mentioning that. And thanks also to Vicky Kittley for asking those questions. All right, so I think I'm done for the night. 10 o'clock. Tomorrow I think I can put together the blog post. And I'm going to be thinking about this tonight, wondering how this is all going to go together. And hopefully you can build like a relatively small system that is doable. And there's a whole cloud of other things that I could do that don't need to be part of the GHDR system, but they can just be things that happen, you know, like that's on like this diagram. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'm going to wrap it up here. And I hope you enjoyed watching my long, arduous Groundhog Day resolutions process. I think it was worth investing the time. I have some things I can work with as far as maybe eventually putting together a book based on this stuff. Productivity system. I think I have the general idea of how I'm going to accrue things in the bucket. I did some past streams on it. I might have even written it down at the bottom of here. Timeless system, taskless system. I did build a repo. No, we'll just make it. I don't need to have this defined when I start. I do have the repo in place, although I think I may rename the way I'm doing this. Right now, this is divided up by storage type. It's in Dropbox, GitHub, local disk, or in MAMP. And then there's things like this. But I'm not going to remember. I don't like splitting it up this way, but there's a backup strategy that's here. Either I make a tool that links everything across. In fact, this has to actually link into... I need to make a symbolic link to Dropbox. And likewise. Anyway, I'm getting aside from myself. So, getting ahead of myself, I mean. So that's the stream for tonight. It's almost 10 p.m. How long did we go? We went for almost 2.5 hours, so that's a total of 6.5 hours to get to this point. And I'm going to take my contact lenses and let my eyes rest. So, at this point on, it's probably watching anime or I don't know. I'll see. Have a good night. Thanks for watching, and I will see you tomorrow for my What's Up Dave stream. And we'll see if that, this chair thing has expanded to its full size. I'm skeptical personally, but we'll see. Bye.